All right. For this week's episode, I brought on Paulette Fara. I'm so thrilled to talk about this topic about art of feminine presence. Welcome, Paulette.
Hi, everyone.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live and what do you do?
Sure. I am in Denver, Colorado. I'm a stress management health coach, and I teach different tips and tricks of how to manage your stress in different ways, from using exercise and fitness to a lot of different modalities. So I use a lot of it with my clients on a corporate level and one-on-one, and then I teach various fitness classes around Metro Denver as well.
And Paulette and I we met, we were both speakers recently at a women's wellness retreat, and we may get into, but she walked me through an exercise on how to embrace and feel that feminine presence. And then we may talk about the differences I felt. But why I find this so interesting is I first realized, honestly, at a Tony Robbins event, when he kind of talked about the feminine and masculine energy and the need to have both to create that polarity for a relationship. And I realized in my previous relationships that I had taken on such an independent woman, I don't need a man presence, that's why I continue to have, maybe dead end or sometimes question a male's masculinity. So that's why I'm excited to talk about our feminine presence and how can we bring that back?
Yeah, it's a great topic. I myself found myself doing the same thing. So I think it was just kismet that we met and we were at the same retreat and how that happened. I worked in corporate HR staffing and recruiting for 13 years. It's a very stressful job, but it's also very male dominant in the sense that all the managers, directors, everyone that I reported to or needed to find employees for were on that level. And so for many years, I worked in the masculine thinking I needed to match the masculine energy in order to find the right people, in order to do my job, in order to make them happy. And I was getting stressed out and burned out. And I didn't know it at the time. At the same time, I was not in a marriage that I really enjoyed either. And so part of that was I felt I was having to do all the masculine things because they just weren't getting done on the other side. And after the divorce, I've been a single mom now for 10 years, really playing both roles. And I finally said to myself, enough is enough, and I can't do this anymore. And I stumbled upon Rachel Jane Groover, who is my mentor, and she created this program called The Art of Feminine Presence. And it has been amazing to use. I've been following the practices for almost a year. I started last April, was my first, we call it AFP retreats. And it has changed just my outlook on my business. It's shifted how I'm going to bring in clientele for my businesses. It's shifted the people that I bring into my life, as well as how I'm even reacting with my son, who will be 16 next month, which is huge because I want to instill with him how he can help his friends be more powerful, but even be in their feminine, that they don't have to be in a masculine energy in order to get things done. And so the minute I heard Rachel Jane Groover talk about this program, I literally was in tears sitting at the table going, I need to have this in my life. How do I do this? And I went to one of the events, and it was a weekend retreat, again, learned some of the practices, and then knew in my heart of hearts I needed to be a teacher, and I needed to learn how to teach other women how to do that. And so it really has been working great to mesh with my stress management role too, because women in corporate need this. Women not in corporate need this. I think right now in this world, in this society, in your community, on your block, we could all use just a little bit of lesson of how to tap back into our feminine energy and be able to explore that a little bit more.
So you kind of touched on it, but what are the benefits? So if I get back more in touch with my feminine presence, then, well, one, how? And then two, what are those benefits?
So what I've learned through the art of feminine presence practices is that feminine energy not only makes our lives more pleasurable and fulfilling, but it gives you a radiant power. So it gives you this natural glow. And it's that power that you become a magnet for. So you don't have to walk in the room and project to the entire team what your ideas are. What happens is that those people come to you and say, I don't know what you've got going on, but I need to sit next to you and learn about you, because you just radiate that amazing energy and that power. And a lot of the practices are very simple practices. And it's one of those, oh my gosh, had I just known how to connect this. It's a lot of mind-body connection work. So a lot of mindfulness comes into play too. But when we are tapped into our feminine energy, it's what men desire most, not just in relationships, but in businesses as well. Men love having powerful feminine role models in the workplace. They don't want the females to match the masculine energy. They don't. And I think that what we've been doing for so long and trying to be independent and I can do it, I don't need a man, that's fine. But what's happening is that you're guiding yourself away from really having true connections and a true, powerful connection with men to help you and be on your team instead of just repelling them and not bringing in the type of people that you want in your life. So a lot of the benefits are bringing in the clients into your life that will come into your life, the people, whether it's friendships, you want to act more authentic and true to yourself, but you want friends to be able to understand that too, and you want those type of people in your life and not the toxic relationships in your life. But you also want to bring in more money, and when you are in your feminine essence, you will be able to bring in more income. And there's a couple different brand promises with the art of feminine presence. When you start doing the practices, you will be able to change your relationship with fear and self-consciousness so that it doesn't stop you from moving forward in whatever you want to pursue in life, whether it's a new career, a new love relationship, or you're stuck and you need to find your passion or something. But you'll be able to hold an authentic confidence and then reduce the self-consciousness of, I can't do this, no matter what the situation is. It gives you that boost of confidence. The second brand promise from this practice is that you will become a more magnetic woman, and not in the sense that you're going to attract more attention, but it's more about ending that struggle of feeling like you have to push to be seen, to be noticed, to be heard. That was what I had troubles with. Here I had all of these beautiful things to teach people, but no one was listening to me, and it was driving me insane. And friends and family would sit and complain about their stress, and I would tell them what to do, and it was like they didn't hear me. And so it was really important for me to really start sinking in and using it and then teaching from the feminine presence. And it's made a big shift in how my clients are feeling and how they're learning a lot differently how to handle their stress. But again, it makes you that magnet. So it makes you attract the type of clients you want to work with and the type of people you generally want in your life. And then the third promise from doing these practices is that your income will increase. It will. A woman who has a magnetic presence can hold an authentic confidence no matter what, is seen as more valuable and more credible. And it's that woman who gets the raise. It's that woman who's able to ask for more money, is able to bump her prices if she's an entrepreneur, and she will have people pay those prices to come and work with her because she has that authentic confidence. If you're working for someone else, you'll have that ability to go in and ask for that raise. Or when your review comes up, you're not going to be self-conscious about it. You're going to go in with this air of confidence going, I deserve this, and this is why. And so it's really a good feeling to have that when you know you're working and striving towards something that is very meaningful in your life.
So I think what you really touched on and what I'm getting is that when you're authentic, when you're in your true authenticity, when we're being our best selves, and rather than trying to replicate somebody else's energy, or that's when it's like embracing who we truly are. And I recently did a podcast interview, podcast episode all about knowing your worth. And so that's what I understand, knowing the value. So when you're in that authentic self and you know your value, that's why you can bring in what you truly deserve.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And part of the practice is really tapping deep. You tap not on the surface, but you go deep. And so, at first people laugh when I bring boxes of tissues to these classes. And then slowly, like an hour into it, they're like, where are those tissues? Because they just broke through a layer of crust that they've been holding on to because they thought they had to in order to move through their day. We just had our week 2 of the 5-week series, and I didn't think it could get any better. And oh my gosh, the breakthroughs that these women had was just enormous. And they said they knew how they were going to use this practice at work every day to do it. And it was really neat to see them, the light bulb go on and say, oh my God, yeah, this is going to work when I have to deal with so-and-so at the office. This is going to help me shift how my relationship is with that person. And it was really neat to see that.
Can we kind of go over the exercise that we did at the Women's Wellness Retreat? It was only a few minutes that I stood up there in front of the group of around 30. And that the few minutes, the 3 things you ran me through, I literally felt a difference and they saw a difference. So can we touch on that?
Of course, of course. Well, and we can do it right now if you're all, kind of willing to try it out. It's kind of fun, but you've got to be willing to break out of it. So the first practice that I'm going to teach is called the womb space. And everyone has a womb space, even men. It's funny, but they will. It's just placed a little bit different. And in yoga, Tai Chi, it's called the Dantian. And basically it's 3 inches below your belly button, and pull all the way back to your spine. So take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, I want you to put your focus on this space. So 3 inches below the belly button, pull it back into your spine and just put your focus right there. And sink deep into that space. And then think about having a light globe or a lotus or a ball of, say, golden light, just sinking right there. And that's your womb space. Now slowly open your eyes and then just think about something that's happened today that was either chaotic, crazy, made your heart race, you made you anxious. And then think of how you would feel if you had been in womb space when that occurred. So it's literally just taking you back and down into a place that you always have control of, but you can sink there. And in Art of Feminine Presence, we call this home. And it's whenever you feel like you're running ragged or you've got so much going on and go, I always say to people, go home. Come find your place into home. It doesn't take that long to do. And just settle in there. Just listen to your breath. It could 2-3 minutes at the most is really all you need.
Yeah.
And then the second part that I had you do, I had Heather doing a standing. And what I had her do is stay in womb space. And then I just had her shift her hips a little bit. So just soften the hips a little bit. And just kind of feel that feminine in the hips a little bit. So the knee was softened a little bit, the hip was softened, there's no tension in the body. And I had her just look at everyone in the room. And you can kind of do this, looking at your coworkers or your family too, from that womb space. And it just softens it up. Good way to kind of put it is that it softens it up, right? But you're still in that power place. The womb space is your power place. And then the last thing I had her do, and this is one of the most important and fun practices, it's called your light globe, finding your light globe. And what I had her do is standing up in her womb space. She has that glowing, beautiful golden light. And I had her bring that light up into her heart space, right between her chest, right in that sacrum, right there, or in the chest. And I just had her open her eyes and expand that glowing light out to everyone. And you cannot not smile when you do this, because it just lightens up everything, right? And then she looked around the room and was able to make eye contact with pretty much everyone in the room.
Yeah.
And Heather, tell me what you felt after that.
For me, yes, I just felt like I was so light and glowing, and I just wanted to pour. It was as though I was like a waterfall, and I just wanted to rush all of my energy out to everybody. And the feedback from people after, they came up to me and they're like, what did she tell you to do? Because they said they could see it in my eyes, that my eyes just sparkled, and they were radiating it back to me. They were all smiling back at me. It was so powerful.
I think that's the best part of this practice, is that once you're able to incorporate the practices in your life and you are able to spread that love and energy out, people become energized with it, and then they get it and they're like, wow, what the, and like I said earlier, people come up to you and say, I don't know what you got going on, sister, but I need to talk to you. I need to find out what's happening with you. And why do I need to know you? And I think that's so neat, because you're giving that energy out so that those type of people come to you. Yeah, it's pretty cool how it works.
Yeah. What else can you touch on in this whole, so if somebody's at home right now and they're thinking, gosh, maybe I kind of have stepped into my masculine energy, what else can I do from home or in my everyday life to, for me, it's more like, and I think you touched on it prior, but it's dancing again and like getting back in and moving those hips and paying attention to the way you walk. For me, it's more like painting my nails again. And do you know, I realized, and I'm a huge snowboarder, but a lot of my snowboarding gear, I bought like men's pants because they were baggy and I wanted to be cool. And now I'm thinking like, what the hell was I thinking? And I just recently bought a pink backpack because I'm bringing all my pink back. Like, I want to embrace it fully. But what can listeners do in their everyday life?
I think those are great examples. Anything like that you can do. The walking practice was probably one of the hardest ones for me to do, because I've always been on a mission in my walk. I got places to be, things to do, go, 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 no time to stop and rest. And so in that practice, you learn to walk in a feminine. What does that mean to you? And it made me realize, oh my gosh, I have hips and I actually like my hips and I want to use them again. Yeah. So dance, get up, feel the movement, feel the rhythm. Mindfulness work is really good for that too, especially if you are just going through a moment in your day where you've got pressure under pressure under pressure. Find a moment, listen to some really pretty music, something that feels feminine to you, music that feels feminine to you. Every one of my stress management clients gets an adult coloring book with a bunch of different pencils. Take 5 minutes to color in it and bring that creative side back, bring that feminine fun side back. That's an easy way to do it too. Even, finding a book that you like and taking, a couple, minutes to read a chapter in it brings you back into, okay, I can deep breathe, I can relax now, I don't seem to have to go through my day. And so those little things, if you notice that you're doing that, take a step back. One of the participants in my 5-week AFP series right now confessed to driving in the masculine, where she is, you got to get out of my way, I got a place to go. And I found myself in that realm as well. And so I told her, your homework this week is to drive in the feminine. So every time she sits down in her car seat, I told her, you need to get into womb space. And that's where I want you to drive into work or to wherever you're going, is from womb space. And she looked at me and she said, oh my God, I so can't wait to try this. So that was her homework this week, is to not drive in the masculine, but to drive from womb space.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah, I can see how I do that as well. So I kind of want to wrap this up. I have some rapid fire questions for you.
Sure.
So kind of whatever comes to mind, first thing, go with it. What would you tell your younger self?
Oh, that's a good one. The divine plan is there. Do not stress about the little things. And I learned that the hard way. You're going to make me cry, darn it. I learned that one the hard way. And I really loved that, you know, my mom was very supportive in any decisions I make. So no decision was a bad decision. But just to tell myself, the plan is there. Just don't stress and worry about it. Yeah.
I think that goes back to the whole having faith and trust.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard.
Trusting yourself, knowing your gut feelings. That's what that womb space is all about, is you're reconnecting with that gut feeling. And I've always known I needed, you know, I'm on this planet for a higher purpose. And sitting behind a desk just wasn't making me happy. I needed to find that purpose. And when I finally found it, the angels sang, and I feel amazing. So it was just taking that time to get there and not stress about it.
Awesome. What book are you currently reading?
I'm reading, I have 6 books on my bedshelf, but I'm currently reading just a nonfiction murder mystery right now, just to get all the research and stuff out of my brain, which I have to do. The other book was Rachel Jane's Powerful and Feminine, which is a great book. So if you're looking for something to add to your repertoire, the Rachel Jane Groover's Powerful and Feminine is a really good book, where she goes through some of the practices in the AFP. Yeah.
Okay. What is a quote or motto that you live by?
Be the change that you want to see in the world. I've been using that for almost 20 years. Yeah, it's one of my favorite. Every day, try and be the change that you want to see.
Yeah. Awesome. Paulette, if listeners want to get in touch with you or learn more about this art of feminine presence, where can they reach you?
They can email me at Paulette Fara, Fara @gmail.com. My website's almost up and running. It's fluidstrong.com. So you can look at that. I'm hoping by the end of the week, all the connections and bells and whistles will be there. So definitely keep a lookout for that. And the Art of Feminine Presence online should have my connections there. But if you email me, I can let you know when my next presentation will be, and or when the next 5-week series starts too, because I'd love to have you join us. It's pretty amazing work.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this information with us and getting us back into our feminine presence.
Anytime. Thanks so much, Heather, for the opportunity.